For this disability, I chose a student that I've worked with for 2 years now, and this student has a mild hearing impairment, but this learning strategy would also work great with mild to moderate, possibly even severe learning disabilities, depending on the tutor that the child could have. And so this strategy is peer tutoring. And using personal experience and an article that I found in Teaching Exceptional Children entitled The Unexpected Benefits of High School Peer Tutoring. I've been interested in peer tutoring since I was a student myself, because I've always enjoyed helping other students learn a concept, which is probably why I wanted to be a teacher. And I found that when I was helping a student, it was allowing me to learn the content more, along with helping that student learn it in a different way than maybe the teacher had presented it. And so I like to do peer tutoring in my classes, not just for the student that I'm talking about that has the hearing impairment, but just for students in general, because sometimes one may be stronger on one topic and the other may be stronger on a different topic, and then having them work together works really nicely. So before I go to the next slide, I was just going to pan through. This is my classroom at Donahoe, and I don't know if the camera is going to really be able to show you the way the desks are set up or not. Let me see if I can come over here, if it'll come all the way. But you can see how a lot of the desks are paired in twos. And so I have strategically placed students in my 7th and 8th grade class with a partner who can help them without them maybe even realizing they're being helped. The student with the hearing impairment, I have him placed right up front next to my desk, and I have him placed with a student who is really good at math and is very patient and able to explain the material. I decided to do this with this student because he doesn't want to talk about his hearing impairment around the other students, although most of them know that he has one, and he needs to be closer to the front, but he's not going to do it on his own. And so since I have placed them in more assigned seats and placed him with his peer tutor that he probably doesn't even realize he has a peer tutor, his grades have really improved. So my personal experience, I'll call him Matthew. He's a student in my advanced algebra class with a mild hearing impairment where the peer tutoring has worked well with him. And I believe, again, that this would work well with a student with a mild to moderate disability. Matthew's experience has been an increase in his test scores, an increase in his confidence. He's answering questions in class now, whereas before he wouldn't. His attitude is a whole lot better. There's been an overall improvement in his attitude. A lot of times he would look almost depressed during class, but again, since his test scores have come up and since he's realized that he does understand the material, he's actually probably hearing it better because I have him closer, so there's a proximity strategy there. But having his buddy that's helping him, even though he may not realize she's helping, I think has made a big difference. And so the article that I found referred to a school in Kentucky where peer tutoring has been really successful. And in fact, they use it as a credit for the tutor. And that tutor will work with a student who has a mild, even to severe disability, and they pair them up. The tutors, and I'm going to call the tutors the students who are doing the tutoring, they're able to adapt the content of the material that the teacher has presented into more manageable material. You know, a lot of times students have a different way of saying it than the teacher does, and it can make more sense to their peers. And then again, the tutors could receive credit for participating. Some benefits of peer tutoring is that, especially with children with disabilities, it's going to build some social interaction between the exceptional student and the tutor. Learning will end up occurring for both students. And one example I found of this is that one thing that a tutor could do for the student is to summarize material from the textbook. The summary would be easier for the child with the disability, and by summarizing the material, that tutor is learning it even better. So it's really a win-win situation. It also allows the tutor to experience firsthand how interaction with an exceptional student is, and it gives them some insight that most adults do not have because they've never had an opportunity to work with a student with a disability. The tutor will have to use critical thinking skills to be able to adapt the material, so again, it's helping that tutor. The social interaction between tutor and student is building the confidence of the child with a disability. And this is a great way for both student and tutor to simultaneously build portfolios. Like back to another instructional strategy I used was the portfolio assessments. So you could have the exceptional student who is working on their portfolio, At the same time, a peer tutor is working on their portfolio. And so they're both, again, a win-win situation. Some student ideas from the Kentucky school were this. Like in an art class, instead of having a student draw a picture, if that student has a hard time with the motor skills of drawing, then they could paste pictures from a magazine onto their project. When completing a research paper, the student with the disability could use picture symbols instead of having to write it. For a large reading assignment, and I've alluded to this already, the tutor could summarize a section, and that helps both of them. And that is peer tutoring, another instructional strategy that works great with students with a hearing impairment or a mild to severe disability.